Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Archive of Solitude. And today we're going to talk about why I love to make friends with the incels, with the nerds, with the weird guys, like just with the outsiders, with the men who live in the basement, with the boys who live in the basement. I love to make friends with them because I relate to them. I feel like them, and also to prevent a future mass murder. Those two reasons basically is why I do it. And my neighbors just watch me while I'm talking. And yeah. First of all, today I met a guy. Well, more like I met a little, like he was a 16, 17-year-old boy. He was just training in the gym, and he was like, you can just tell like that he's a little bit antisocial, doesn't have a lot of friends. Like when you look at someone, you can tell if he's confident or not, and he didn't really seem confident. I guess he was also new to the gym probably, and he didn't know a lot what he was doing. And I was like, yeah, look, I'm just gonna talk to that boy and just make friends with him, just for him, like to make him feel acknowledged, to make him feel seen. Because I feel like if a boy like this is being ignored and not seen by anyone, they turn into someone like Elliot Rodger or similar type of mass murderers who are incels or like are just hopeless in their life. So they just turn into violence and savagery. And I thought to myself, you know what? It's not necessarily that, that doesn't really bring me to do it. It's more like sympathy that I have for people like that. And that's why I talked to him. And I talked to him. I was like, hey, what's up? I first asked him like how many sets he was doing, and then he was like, yeah, just one right there, just one. He just went after that, and then after that, like he did some for the upper chest, like an exercise, and he did it really wrong. And I was like, man, I gotta tell him. I went to him and I said, look, man, you're doing it wrong, and he didn't understand me. And I found out that he was actually from Ukraine, like he was a refugee. And he didn't know any German, so I talked in English with him, and I was like, yeah, you need to do this and this and this. And he didn't know any English either, so he was just like, thank you, yeah. And I was just talking to him, I was just telling him, look, you just do it like this and this. And, in this interaction, he didn't understand me, but I had not even not hundreds, but tens of interactions with similar type of guys like him, and they always really appreciated. And they really feel seen. And I can see it in their eyes that they're like, man, like this is so cool that this guy's talking to me. Like they are actually grateful for the presents that you give them. Other people, they're like chats, like me, guys like me. Like I'm not trying to be too arrogant, but I'm Chad, all right? I got a status in the gym. People know me. People know me in this whole city. Like people know I'm Chad in this city, and I'm basically friends with all the Chads. So there's no similar level of type of Chads to me. So I'm just like top guy, but not trying to be arrogant. I'm sorry, but not trying to be arrogant, but I am Chad. And I feel like they're like grateful for the presents that they get. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm so great and they should be grateful. No. I always appreciate presents by other people. I always appreciate their company, but other people don't appreciate mine, and I don't feel like they do. And they don't look at me when they talk to me like they are just like they're doing something else. But these people, they see you, and they sometimes get nervous, and that's why they don't look at you or something. But generally, they think about this interaction for a longer time. And I told them, look, if you ever need help here, just come to me, just talk to me, And this might sound like, the way I'm talking about it might sound like I'm just doing this for my own ego, but I'm not. Like, it doesn't help me. Like, I'm not getting anything back from it. I'm just going there. I'm talking to him. I'm doing some conversation. Where are you from? What do you do? Like, do you go to school? Something like that. And I just ask him some stuff, and I tell him at the end, look, if you ever need help, like, come to me. Like, I'll help you. I'm here for you. And I believe this could make a difference to some men. Some young men, especially. I'm doing this for young men at most. There's some older people I did it with as well. Like when I just notice someone just looks really lonely and awkward, I'm just going straight up to them and saying, hey, you know what? Look, doing how many sets you're doing and stuff. Or I'll be just giving them a random compliment and getting into conversation. Just because I know that I know how I felt when I was lonely like that, or not really like them, but when I was just lonely. And I would have loved for someone to just speak to me and just say anything, really, like just anyone to give me some company in that moment, because it can be hard. It can be quite hard with loneliness. Like, it's difficult if you're, especially if you're an introvert, but you still seek some connection with people. It's difficult to reach anyone, and sometimes we need someone to reach them. But they actually, like, they have to change. They have to try out to reach someone. But I guess I'm getting the ball rolling on some type of relationship with them for me and them, like for that relationship they can have with me. Because that's what I think. I believe if Elliot Rodger knew me, he wouldn't have turned out like that. I can even remember there was like a boy, and he's still in the gym. Like, I see him rarely, but I see him, and he started out at the gym, and I talked to him about something, and you can tell by his, like, the way he's talking and stuff, he's awkward. He's not like the popular guy in school. So I'm talking to him and saying, hey, this and that, And look, let me tell this up front as well. Like, I'm not looking at them in that way. Like, I'm not saying like, all right, this guy is not really cool. It doesn't matter to me, but I can tell. You can tell if this guy is popular to most people or not. He's popular to me. It doesn't matter to me if he isn't popular in school or something. But as I said, I had this other boy, like other young man, and we talked about some exercise and stuff, and we talked a couple of times, and he was like skinny and not really good looking at the start, but after some time, like for example now, like after like 3-4 months, I saw him again, and he looked quite good. He put on some muscle, he got a nice frame now, and he changed up his haircut. He looks good now, and I was like, hey, you look good, man. What happened? He was like, yeah, I try to look like more like you. Like, I took some advice. I didn't even give him any advice, but he just said that, and I was like, oh, yeah, well, look, it's working for you. It's working for you. You look great. So, it makes me happy. This is like the type of influence I want to have in person. Like, this is so valuable, in my opinion. Like, I'm giving some type of influence on here as well, but I really want to give it in real life. Like, that's way more valuable to me, that I can see them and actually give them a connection. Like, they can actually feel seen, and that's what I did today. That's why I talked to him, and I told him, if you ever need help, come to me. He didn't even understand most of the things that I said, but it doesn't matter. He still felt seen. He still felt seen. It doesn't matter. And that's what's important to me, that I can give that feeling sometimes, and I enjoy it, like, always. That's the thing, like, these people are always really interesting. They always have their own stuff to put in. Like, they have their own value. They know stuff. Like, I never regret talking to anyone like this. Like, I actually prefer talking to them than talking to other chat type of guys. Like, the guys who already get a lot of attention by women and men. I don't want to talk to them. They're not interesting. They're an open book. You look at them and you already see everything. But these guys, they're interesting. They already got a story. They always got a story behind them. Just as I do. Because I'm mysterious as well. I'm chat, but I'm still mysterious. That's the thing. Look, I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything, but I'm just the coolest guy ever. And people really need to get to know me. But I always like to get to know the guys who don't look that cool, who don't look that interesting. Like, they always got a story, which is way more interesting. For example, I talked to a guy the other day who was like doing some jumping exercise on boxes, and I wanted to help him with it because I was going to tell him to use another box, because the box that he was using was moving while he was jumping on it. And I went up to him and I said, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I was talking in German. I was like, hey, I'm sorry. Look, I wouldn't use this box and stuff. And he was like, well, I'm sorry, I don't speak German. And he was like, I was like, English? And he was like, yeah, English. And I told him, and then I noticed, like, this guy was talking such, like, really good English, but he had an American accent. I was like, are you American? And he was like, yes. And I was like, where are you from? And he was like, he's from Florida. He's from Tennessee. Or Tallahassee? And I was like, whatever state it is. Like, it's North Florida, so yeah. And he was like, yeah, I'm from there and stuff. And I was like, what are you doing in my gym? Like, that was so cool. We had such a cool conversation. And yeah, he wasn't Chad either. He was a little bit chubby. He was older. He was at least 30 up to 40, and he's a professor in North Carolina in a university. he's a professor in marketing. I'm exposing him completely now, but it was so cool because I'm also doing marketing. Like, I'm doing editing and stuff, and I'm doing social media marketing for firms. And we were talking about it a little bit. And he was like, "Yeah, you got your Instagram and stuff," and I was like, "Yeah, but I don't got my phone." And he was like, "I don't got mine either." So I hope I'll meet him again, because I told him I was always around at that time. And I saw him, like, I went late today into the gym, and he was just getting out. I saw him, like, I was in the car, and he was coming out, and I was like, "Oh no, it's a shame." But I'll meet him again. It happens. It will happen. But that was a cool guy. And it was so cool. Like, I wouldn't have expected that to be such a cool conversation. And he wasn't Chad either. He was just like, he wasn't an incel or anything. But he was not Chad, not like me. I'm also younger than him. But yeah, that was like, you never know what happens when you talk to people like that. Really interesting. I don't like to talk to the popular guys. They're, like, in my opinion, they're also obnoxious. Like, I know that I am obnoxious sometimes by the way I am. And you might think that as well, but man, sometimes I see them and like, there's, for example, in my old gym, there was this one guy, like, steroid type of guy. Like, he takes steroids and stuff, but he looks good. Like, he looks fine. Like, I was just talking, like, every time you see him, this guy is so fake. Like, he says, "Hey, what's up?" And he doesn't even look at you. Like, he doesn't look at you, and he just walks past you like you're the wind or something. And I get it, you're busy, all right, but like, you can acknowledge me. This is just straight up rude, in my opinion. And I don't like to talk to I don't care about people like that. Don't care about them. I got something on my mouth. But yeah, that's really it. So yeah. And good thing also is I can mock them while they're next to me. I'm playing. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to dominate anyone while talking like that. I'm really just looking for heart. Like, this is just heart to heart. This is showing heart, all right? We're just showing heart to each other. We're just being sympathetic to each other. That's all I'm looking for in conversations like that. But yeah, that's really it. So if you like the video, don't subscribe, don't comment. Just delete Instagram, delete TikTok, delete YouTube, and go out and talk to an incel. Talk to a nerdy type of guy. Talk to a school shooter type of guy. If you see someone like that, talk to them. Actually build up a conversation with them. And if you don't, I'll see you tomorrow.